So I'm not going to be on this live long, but I just need to process a little something. So, I was having a conversation and we was talking about this particular person right here. Um, this particular person, the person who I shared Joseph. And I was like, I've been following him for years. And, talking about how fine he was. And so the other person was like, I thought he was fat. I've been following him for years. I thought he was fat. Now, if you know the person who is in the cover of this video, you know that this person is very confident in their body. This person is this is the Aries. They love showing off their body. They love showing off what they look like. And so you know that this person is very confident in their body. You know that this person is always sharing stuff to their stories. This person is always sharing stuff to their page. They're always sharing videos of them from years ago now, showing how they look the same way that they looked 10 years ago. Like this person is very into that. So anyway, the person that I was talking to was like, well, I've been following him for years and I thought he was fat. And I'm like, you've been following him for years and you thought he was fat. Like, pretty hot and tempting? Like, maybe that's what they were talking about. Maybe they were saying PHAT. Maybe it was pretty hot and tempting. Because I'm like, if you have seen this person pictures for years, like if you have been looking at this person's pictures for years, looking at this person, and that's what I did. I actually scrolled through the pictures. And so when they kept trying to defend it and when they kept saying that he was fat and that they thought he was fat and they kept saying, well, he was fat. And I'm like, no, he was like, they kept trying to make sense of the rationalization of calling him fat. Like they kept trying to make sense of it. And there was no sense to be made because if you scroll through his pictures, you will be scrolling through his pictures. You'll just be scrolling through content and content. You'll just be scrolling through a sea of endless content, and you will never see one picture of him where he does not have a six pack, where he is not giving you muscles, where he is not giving you tone. And it's so like, where is this coming from? It's like, where are you getting this information? And so like, I even had tried to offer an out. Like I was like, maybe you got the person confused. Maybe like you're confused and you think that this is somebody else. And it was like, no, it's him. I know who I'm talking about. It's him. It's definitely him. I'm telling you, it's him. And I'm like, but like I'm scrolling through his content and you're seeing that all of his pictures, he got six pack, he got muscle tone, he fine, he's always showing off his body. Like he is a person who's always showing off his body. Like he doesn't just do videos. Like even when he do videos, like he like to come style in front of the camera and he gonna show you a little bit of his body. He gonna model for you. He gonna turn around and walk. And so you really were catching like glimpses and maybe when you were following him, you were in a different space. You were in a different space. And so you weren't fully connecting or fully engaging with the content. And maybe that's a worthwhile conversation to have because it's looking foolish right now. It's looking foolish. And I did tell the person that they sounded stupid because if you scroll through his content, if you scroll through his content, if you scroll through all of his content, you're not going to find any pictures of this person that are not lean and muscular. Like you just not. And so when you say you're following someone and you say you've been following them for years, maybe say I maybe say I followed them years ago. I used to follow them. I became familiar with their content years ago. Maybe say that. Maybe say that. Maybe say I started following their content years ago. Maybe say I'm familiar with their content. Maybe say, oh, yeah, I used to watch some of their videos years ago, but don't be like I've been following them for years and you thought they was fat. I'm like, I was gagging, like, I'm like, what is this going, like, what is this about? Like, and so, then, they said that I was defending, they said that I was defending him and I didn't even know him. And we all defend people we don't know. You know, like, we all have people that, who content that we consume that we defend and we don't know. And so it was a silly, petty, foolish argument. And I think the thing that upset me and disappointed me the most was that we talk about accountability a lot. Like, that's the thing that we're talking about the most is like accountability, like practicing accountability. And so when I was able to go to this person's page and show you this person's content, and you were able to see me scroll years and years back in this person's content, and none of the content, you know, there were no images, there were no pictures of this person at a different weight. There were no pictures of this person at a heavier weight. There were no curvy, round pictures of this person. Like, there were no even body positive, you know, pictures that would be considered body positive of this person. And so even when I said that, you know, there wasn't a moment to say, oh well, you know, I only watched a couple of videos, or, you know, I didn't really follow. Like, you know, I followed, but I really didn't follow. Like, you know, I really am not that familiar with the content. Like, I know of them, but I wasn't really like invested in the content. Like, it was a moment to say that instead of like doubling down and arguing me, saying they was fat, like they was, or, you know, like arguing with me. And then you're raising your voice and not really being able to be accountable for the fact that you're getting aggressive over some stuff that you really don't know about. And I was able to be calm and I was able to be patient, you know. But when I saw the elevated voice and when I saw the cockiness, that was when it was you sound stupid. Because if you never would have started yelling and you never would have started being so aggressive and trying to double down on something that was incorrect, then my tone would have never changed. And so that's something that, you know, and I wanted to do this video to document that, because I do want to ask y'all if if someone um if someone is telling you something, if someone is telling you something, they're showing you proof, and they're showing you proof, they're absolutely showing you proof, and you're still doubling down, it's not making any sense. Like, they're showing you proof that maybe you hadn't done enough research, maybe you hadn't followed enough, maybe you don't know enough. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe set this one out. Maybe do that. And another thing that no one is ever going to do is police me and tell me how old I should be when I'm having these types of disagreements, when I'm having this type of confrontation. No one is never, ever going to set my age limit and when I'm too, tell me when I'm not an appropriate age to have certain conversations. Anything that I'm moved to talk about and argue, I'm going to argue it. And that's on period. So I just wanted to document this conversation because it was some disrespect that happened. It was very disrespectful. And how it happened and who it happened in front of. You know, the way that it happened. I really wasn't a fan of it. I really wasn't. How it happened, who it happened in front of, the way that it happened, I really was not a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of it at all. I place a lot of stock into certain individuals. I trust certain individuals with a lot. I place a lot of stock into them, and so, you know, the expectation is definitely different. The expectation is different, definitely different. But yeah, if y'all know this person who I'm talking about, who's on the cover, Joseph, y'all know him, Joseph the therapist. He's Aries. If you ever seen his content, have you ever been confused about his size? Have you ever been confused about his weight? Have you ever been confused about his build? If you follow him, like you legit follow him and you know about his content, have you ever been confused about his build? Did you not know like if you did not know, like if you don't know the person that I'm talking about and you've never followed their content, then this conversation isn't for you. But like the question for you would be is if you follow someone and you claim to be a follower of that person and you say you've been following them for years and you don't even really know what they look like, but they're a person that's always showing off their body. They're a person who's always showing off their body. I just felt like the conversation could have been avoided if it would have just been some accountability, about just just any form of it. Like once you saw you were out of your depth, once you saw you were out of your range, once you saw you didn't have all the facts and you really hadn't really done that much research and you pretty much were talking to hear yourself talk at a certain point. That's definitely a concern. But anyway, down but down that I say cool, keep spinning and turning, Ian Gani, Iyanko Kalukulo, which means I'm a child of God Goddess. And if I am, you know you are. Bound in round, both circle and square, we too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair, ill by bosawa, which means we come in peace, no harm to any. Laylem, layler, layler, laylem. Y'all have a beautiful day. Later.